Your lighting looks great.
Pardon me?
Your lighting looks great.
I'm in the office. We've set up the office upstairs, and so a little bit good. So
Yeah, the white background with the
I'm
monitor behind and the light in front of you looks great.
I'm attempting. We're not there yet, but it's like we're heading in the right direction, So all right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Legacy and Impact. It is October 1st. October 1st, or was that yesterday the 1st?
Thank you.
October 2nd. October 2nd. We are officially in the fourth quarter, which is a very exciting time to be. And everybody should be thinking about how to finish out the year, as well as making assessments of where you're at in the year and what can you be doing differently come the new year. And that's some of the things that we're going to be discussing. I've got a number of very exciting announcements to make. And it is, once again, it is always a privilege and an honor as we get our call started. So good evening, Glenn. Good evening, Jeff. I know we'll have a number of other people that are joining us. A number of people that texted me that they were running late. A few things going on. It's a busy time. But I have a lot happening in my world. And Glenn and Jeff, anything that you came across? I know, Jeff, we talked very briefly about an update on Novatech. I'll look into that and see what the status is with that. I'm very, very frustrated. Actually, there was a clip today. I heard the head of the SEC, Gensler, was basically being railed by Congress for his position in how he's interrupted the cryptocurrency world and the exchanges, how the traffic and the trading is down significantly. And he says he's doing it to protect people, but statistically, he's driving down the cost of a lot of things, while it's proven that a lot of organizations, large scale organizations that are under his influence, that he has the ability to affect, are now buying up a whole lot of crypto while everything is slowing down. So I saw that on Instagram, but I'm sure if you look it up, Gensler in front of Congress, it is a worthy listen to hear how they reamed him. So
yeah, they named it pretty hard. So yes,
yeah,
they did.
yeah. I know nobody that I know is actively doing anything, because there's been such a strong hand that's come down right across the board, and it's like they're trying to control it. I believe that I heard the other day, don't hold me to this, that that Congress passed something that was not going to allow the Fed to set up their own digital currency. Did anybody else hear that?
No, but that would be nice.
Yeah, no, that's what I read. I didn't see any backup information. That was just the headline, as oftentimes headlines get our attention, but there's not a lot of detail. But apparently that is something that is in the mix, that Congress is aware that a digital currency, US digital currency, does not have the best interest of the American population or the cryptocurrency world. So we shall see. But me, I'm focused on putting structure that removes tax liabilities through some trusts, as we've discussed, as well as living in a foreign country in order to offset any other impact that the U.S. government is, or overreach that the government is taking. So, but again, we can discuss that. But I invite everybody to just be a sponge, be a student, as you have the opportunity to take in anything and everything that you hear. So, good evening, Keith. How are you, brother?
I'm good. Steve, I tried to buy some crypto, some Bitcoin, and my bank flagged my card.
Yeah, they don't like you using your cards to buy cryptocurrency. They see it as undermining. So what you can do you have Cash App, Keith?
That's what I did through Cash
Got
App.
it. So what you do is you transfer US dollars into Cash App, and then with the money that's in Cash App, then you can buy it.
That's why I figured that out.
Yeah. No,
And
it's
also the decentralized wallet. When I went to go use the card, same thing.
Yep.
They the fraud alert came on, and
Yep. No, they are making it very, very difficult. That's the stuff that I'm talking about. There are so many roadblocks that they're just trying to inconvenience people to get them away from that, so that they can usher in their the digital currency, the US digital currency. So, but we'll see what's going to take place. The reality is, you and I, none of us have any real impact on what happens. It's going to do it, right? They're going to do whatever they're going to do. And so we just need to make sure that we have a good foundation and we've got a good plan. But with that being said, we're not so locked off in our plans that we forget that we need to have some flexibility, right? And many super successful people, that's what they attribute their success to. Though they had a clear path, they were not so locked into it that they let go of the sway, because you always need a little bit of ebb and flow in your plans, right? Call it sea legs. So because you just kind of adjust with the environment, adjust with the season, adjust with the obstacle. You don't lose focus on where you're going, but you don't lock into it. And hopefully that makes sense. So all righty. So a couple questions that I have for everybody, and this has to do with your pursuits, right? Because at the end of the day, nothing is more important than your pursuits, your pursuit outside of your job, your pursuit towards freedom, your pursuit towards entrepreneurialism, your pursuit towards investments, your pursuit towards independence. And I don't know if anybody is ever thought of writing a book or in the middle of writing a book, but my question is how is your book coming along, right? What's the value in writing a book, right? Anybody have any ideas on what a value of writing a book might be?
Well, I actually wrote a book. What was it 2016?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was about 2016, and it was about actually the name of the book is Unvarnished Truth: The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly of the Insurance Industry.
Very good.
So got a lot of flack for it, but
I bet.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's like I don't mention names or anything, but I just say, like I take every aspect of every insurance, like type of insurance, like life insurance, property, casualty, all that stuff,
right?
And say, hey, watch out for this. This is the way it should be structured. And there was a couple people that say, oh, what are you trying to say? I said, I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just saying, look out for these are some of the pitfalls. And I never mentioned names. Now, if you have a guilty conscience, that's your problem.
Exactly. Right.
But what was interesting is that all I had to do was announce and post on Facebook that I'm writing a book. And then just like that, oh, you're an expert. I mean, it's like I'm the same guy with the same knowledge and everything, but now all of a sudden I'm an expert. So so business just shot up, so I've been trying to figure out, okay, what should I write about next? Because because I'm thinking, okay, should I do like a series or like Unvarnished Truth, or I'm not sure. So that's basically where I'm at. So with
that's
that,
great. I didn't know that. See, I love that.
I give you a book?
You may have mentioned it before, but again, within the, there's so much, unfortunately, there's so much stuff that goes in one side
Right.
and out the other. It's impossible to maintain everything, but
Mhm.
but that's, you hit the nail on the head. That is the value of writing a book. There's two aspects. There's the personal aspect where you set out to do something and you do it, you accomplish it, right? Unfortunately, much like a script for a movie or something, a book is part of a creative process. And some people never have the ability to bring it to conclusion, bring it to an end. And as a result, hey, how's that book coming? Oh, I'm still writing it. I'm still writing it. I'm still writing, right? The never-ending novel, right? And so the
Right.
value from a personal perspective is, I started the book, I wrote it, I finished it, it's done, right? And
Mhm.
there's personal accomplishment and closure that comes from the book that you wrote. And we as a species, we love perfection, and that's oftentimes why people are afraid to complete it, is because they want it to be perfect, they want it to say everything. And the reality is no book is ever going to be perfect, no movie is ever going to be perfect, but you just got to get it done so you can move on to the next thing, right?
Right.
The second aspect, as you found out, is all of a sudden you're an expert. And there's no shortage of podcasts out there and other platforms, mechanisms that will invite you onto their show. You can also make it available as a promotional giveaway. You give away a free book in exchange for, while you're building your following, while you're building your associations, right? And much like you said, Glenn, it's the books that we write are not geared to expose any wrongdoings or anything. I don't think it's an expose. It's more of, these are the things you need to pay attention to. From a consumer guide, insurance is a ridiculously confusing industry, right?
Yep.
Much like taxes and all of this stuff. And the average person really doesn't understand the moving parts. So if you have the ability to make something complicated simple so that the average person can really grab a hold of its core elements, then kudos to you, because that's a missing link, in my opinion, about trying to understand insurance and what is
Right.
important, and what's the value of a certificate of insurance. Do I need to be, I was on with some clients today, and how do we deal with this if we convert our business into a trust and we've got all of these different policies and things in place? Do we have to change everything, or how do we handle that? And the reality is through something like that, you can kind of navigate through, right, that which you didn't know before. So good stuff. Kudos to you.
Yeah. So now my question is, how do I monetize? Because the second book, I'm gonna do something completely different, and I want to come up with a book where I can actually monetize not so much the book, but that could be an introduction to like a program or something,
Yeah.
Because with the insurance book, well, I can't really monetize it, meaning I can't have a like a training or something like that.
Well, it can be
So
industry specific. It can be people who are looking at alternative careers. As I say to all my clients, all my tax clients, a license is a license to make money. Right?
correct.
So and my business coach shared this with me, which I never understood it, is once you have a license, life insurance or auto insurance or real estate license, tax license, you can do something that is otherwise illegal for everybody else to do. The average person, they can't do that. It's against the law for them to sell insurance, but because you're licensed, you now there's nothing magical, but you've
Right.
done what you needed to do, right? You've crossed you've checked the boxes, right?
Yep.
And so, I mean, we can talk about, personally about how to leverage that, but it depends on the context of the book. I would lean it towards people that are looking for alternative careers, and how you open the door for alternative careers is you discuss, you create dissatisfaction or a feeling of discomfort for people continuing to pursue the career, the job, the life that they currently have, right? You can take a look at all the different types of AI and robotics and all of those things. And is your job at risk? Is your career at risk? As a result, is your family's future at risk due to something, an element beyond your control? And then, hey, I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but the insurance industry is one of the most lucrative industries in the world, one of the most stable industries in the world, one of the most flexible industries in the world. And if you've ever considered getting, if you want to know what your options are, I recommend getting your insurance business, right? Or getting your insurance license, and you start leading people down that way, because people, they know they need to do something, but what do I do? Right.
Right.
And that's how I would do. But again, we can talk about that and mechanisms. And you set up an app or a website, and you start doing some simple videos, and you look and see what other people that are doing that is successful, right? And they find that sweet spot where they're making people uncomfortable and makes them want to click for the free book, and that's the entry point, right? And then once you've got their information, then now you can potentially make a sale, or you bring them into your brokerage or whatever. So we had a few other people join us while we were talking. Good evening, Quincy. Good evening, Chris Perry. Good evening, Ian Rush. Good evening, Jeff. Everybody's there. So Ian Rush, are you in a position where you can speak? I don't know you, so welcome.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
No problem. Hi, Ian. Who invited you onto the
You broke
call?
up. Quincy invited me.
Nice. Quincy's on the line with us as well. So good. What, are you in Los Angeles?
Yes. Well,
And
outside of Los Angeles.
No problem. And what do you do for a living, or what do you do? What's your entrepreneurial endeavors, or what do you want to share about?
So I'm a physical therapist assistant. Been doing that for about 28 years, and for more than 2 years, I've been primarily involved in the blockchain and crypto industry.
Nice. Very good. And we were talking a little bit about that before you jumped on. Everything's are a little bit kind of sideways right now with everything that's going on in the space, but we'll navigate through it, and hopefully the SEC will back off and all of the chaos they're creating,
Well, I have a different take on it, actually. Like any new industry, you were talking about the insurance industry, whether it's franchising, it's kind of the Wild West in the early days. And there are, I remember reading about the franchising industry in the 50s and early 60s when franchises were overselling territories. And, the bulk of them went by the wayside. And, today we have the Taco Bells, the McDonald's and Subways and all of that. And I think that we need regulation, sensible regulation, right, to protect consumers, definitely.
Yep.
But certain things are beyond the scope of any restrictive regulation, so they're trying to, regulate stable coins and DeFi. But there are things out there that really shouldn't be and can't be regulated. For instance, Bitcoin, of course, the mother of all.
Yep.
And, with the halving event, coming, everybody's interested, So
Yep.
Larry Fink, the founder and CEO of BlackRock, 6 years ago, he said Bitcoin was a graph of money laundering. And
Yep.
here it is 6 years later, he's gotten educated and they want to be first in line for a Bitcoin ETF. And this is happening around the world. So I think that we're coming into a bull run that is going to be unlike anything else before. And last year we had the shakeout of, a lot of either fraudulent, visibly large companies, or that were, bad actors, or were just had bad business models. So I think that kind of woke up a lot of the industry and is pushing those unreliable companies and projects out to the fringes.
Yep.
So I'm very highly optimistic about the whole industry, and yeah. So
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I know that it is part of the future. I know that it's going to go through the roof. And I know that Larry Fink, even while they were saying it was BS, him and Diamond, they were buying up as much as they could. They were that was total market manipulation. And those guys cannot be trusted. But it'll be it's a very interesting time. And I do taxes. I prepare people's taxes. I'm a tax strategist, and I have so many clients that come to me because the gray area. It's like, my CPA says no, he doesn't want to touch it. He doesn't really want to know, And so it's been a nice run being in the gray area when things have not been defined, right? Because obviously the more defined they become, then we understand the rules and regulations much more so. But it's a real pleasure to welcome you onto the call. I'm glad you're able to join us tonight. So cool.
Thank you. I didn't catch your name.
My name is Steve Strachan.
Steve.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve.
Good stuff. All right. So again, the point is that whatever we're doing, I do this, my job but what I'm most excited about is the pursuits that are pulling me forward into financial freedom, or pull me forward into something that I'm really, really passionate about, right? Nobody should be focused solely on their job unless you are new to the industry, you're super excited about it, and you want to own a company like the one you're working for. If that's your intent, then you stay focused on that job and make sure that you're the absolute best employee that you can be, while you have your sights on owning a company like the one you're working for. So with reference to what I was asking before is, how is your book coming? Or, how is your app coming? What have you learned this week? What's the most exciting thing that you've come across recently, right? What has you excited? Anybody have anything to share in that space before we dive into the next topic? No? Okay. So last week we did have a call. I didn't promote it, but Jeff and we had a really good conversation. We were discussing the trusts and how the trusts and life insurance and everything fits together. That is, in my opinion, probably the most important and significant element for being prepared for the future, is getting that asset protection as well as tax reduction in place before the government crackdown kicks in, right? I believe that it's coming. We know it's coming. They've already prefaced us that the IRS is going to be completely different in the future. So I think that everybody should be thinking from that space. I am signing up, or I'm helping a whole bunch of people get set up with their trusts. And you should schedule a time to meet with me or speak to me about how to get that set up, so that way, no matter what the government throws at us, you're already outside of the matrix, right? You already have your plan in place. So One of the things that I really, really wanted to discuss with everybody is, I'm a stickler for foundations. The foundation is what keeps me focused on the pursuits that I have. And Ian, you don't know this, but I live down in Mexico. I'm down in Playa del Carmen. I have a business in Los Angeles. But a year ago, last May, we moved down here and I go back and forth. It's life by design. And that became possible because I have a business and it's seasonal. In the tax business, there's a whole bunch of money that comes in the beginning of the year. And then that allows us the flexibility and freedom to pursue other things, real estate and other types of investments in the off season, right? And I encourage everybody to be looking down that path of my life by design. I know Quincy, I know your endeavors in crypto and investments and all the different things that you're excited about, right? But one of the things is that this call on Monday night should be on every one of your schedules and should be attended whether I'm here or not, right? Because it's that commitment, just like going to the gym every day, that's going to generate the results. Your commitment to being plugged in here on Monday night is going to be one of the factors that generates the results that you're ultimately looking for, right? And last week, I didn't send off a text message. It was kind of a test to see who shows up, because the number's still the same. The access is all the same. And Jeff plugged in. And so Jeff and I spent, an hour. It was just Jeff and I, right? And there's value in that, right? So I encourage everybody to just make sure that whether you get a text message from me or not, you still plan on being here. Does that make sense? Okay. Class is in session, always. Okay. And if I don't show up, it doesn't mean that you either check out. It means, okay, what can I do in this window of time, right? What can I read? How can I research? What can I bring so that then the next time we get together, say, hey, well, I didn't, because then we didn't have the call, but I discovered this, I found some new stuff, right? And so one of the things I wanted to run by you all is I'm working on making some changes to Legacy. There's a few things that are in the mix. I'm considering changing the time for our call and possibly shifting it to Saturday morning or another time. If anybody has any suggestions that you would like to submit other than this crazy hour, I chose this time because most people at this time should have nothing on their schedule with the exception of sleep. And like I've said before, my philosophy is you can sleep when you're dead or sleep when you're rich. You decide when you sleep, right? But if you ain't, you can lose a little bit of sleep of pursuing knowledge and developing yourself and your craft, right? So think about that. Send me a text message if there is a time that you would like to see this call that may possibly work better for you, other than the 11 o'clock Central Time, midnight East Coast, and 9 p.m.
I think Thursday would be a good time.
Thursday?
Like Thursday between 5 and 6 o'clock, West Coast time.
Pacific time.
Maybe,
okay.
Yeah, maybe even 7.
That's fine. I'll throw that into the mix and I'll see how that works.
I thought at least an hour earlier myself.
Okay, because it's a little difficult. Yeah. So Chris is in Florida, Ian. So it's the latter part of the night. Okay. So that's one of the things that I'm looking to do is, okay, make some adjustments so that we can make it work for as many people as possible, because there are some things that I'm that are going to have us with a lot more people coming into the mix. Okay. One of the things that I am planning, and it's not final yet, but I wanted to give you guys the inside scoop, is in the latter part of November or possibly the beginning of December. I'm looking at having an event down here in Mexico, right? Anybody need a vacation, need to get away?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, right? So it would be the latter part of November, meaning just before Thanksgiving or just after Thanksgiving. And one of my business mentors, I've spoken to him about coming and speaking and bringing his core network, which is a whole bunch of people that I know. And then another NLP specialist who's a personal friend of mine, who's a master trainer and trained Fortune 500 companies, have him come down. And then also the guys that I'm working with the trusts and life insurance, they are masters at what they do as well. And combining it with the opportunity to see some real estate down here in the market. So, because once you come down and you see, your perspective changes completely. There's so much opportunity here. And I really want to give everybody the advantage that this window of opportunity, window of time is presenting for all of us, right? This moment in time will not last forever. There is so much happening here. The real estate market in the U.S. is faltering. The only area that I know that's doing well is the Section 8 housing, right? Buying rundown homes and setting up tenants for Section 8 rentals, which is the government basically paying their rent. And it can be very, very lucrative, but again, it's not the healthier side of the real estate business. So something to think about with reference to that. And I don't know if you have ever thought about living in a foreign country, but the quality of life is superior down here. The cost of living is a fraction of what it costs in the United States. And if you have a business or you have a mechanism for generating money, or you set that up prior to coming, you can live like a king. Who wouldn't mind living like a king? Right? I mean, I rent a brand new 3-bedroom townhouse here in a beautiful complex, gym, spa, pools, security for $800 a month. It's crazy. So lots of opportunities. All right. So, but that's coming up, and hopefully you guys would want to participate in that. I will keep you abreast of how that's coming along. And the objective is to have Legacy membership increase to about 1,000 people. Right now we have about 150 people that kind of plug in randomly. But my goal is to 10x that. You guys familiar with the 10x platform? Right. How do you, I've asked this before. How does an organization, a church, a network marketing team, a real estate team, a insurance team, how do you double in size? If everybody just invites one person,
Advertising, yeah.
the organization will double in size, right? And there's a lot of different organizations that are utilizing the traditional network marketing business models. There's a real estate company that we are now participating with called EXP. And anybody that is interested in a career in real estate, there's opportunities up the wazoo with EXP. We now have a neurotropic coffee company, which is available brand new. And this is brain stimulating coffee, not coffee that's going to kill you. It's actually healthy coffee that my friends out of Texas have just launched. There's an opportunity to be making money with that. Like Glenn was talking about before, there's the opportunity to get your life insurance license. There's the opportunity to get your tax license. You can get your real estate license. Once you have a license, it's a license to make money. And all those business principles, they apply anywhere you go. You can go somewhere and make money. All you got to do is put yourself in the middle of the mix. Does that make sense? So, all right. So I'm going to share with you some of the stuff that I discovered recently. I'm going to share a screen and desktop. All right. And one of the things, we are active with Airbnb. I'm going to show you a condo that we bought down here in Mexico. We paid $38,000 for it. Again, one of the challenges with buying real estate here is that for the most part, there isn't financing. Some developers will finance for 2 to 4 to 10 years, but for the most part, it's basically cash. So this is a condo that was purchased for $38,000 about last August or September, and it's already gone up roughly $25,000. So we lived here for a little bit, got everything up and running, and so now we are putting it into the Airbnb market and making it available for short and long-term rentals. The ideal is to rent it for somebody for a month, 2 months, 3 months that wants to come and tentatively live down here, right? So nothing fancy, very, very simple, but this type of apartment will rent between $600 and $700 a month, right? It's ready to go, and it's for people that want to have an adventure. They're going to check out of their life and they're going to come down here to Mexico for a month to 2 months to 3 months, all brand new. It's a brand new condo, security, pool, et cetera, close to hiking trails and all sorts of stuff. And so that's one example, right, of what's potentially available. There are other condos, other condo complexes that we've come across that are in that same $30,000 to $40,000 range where you can buy a unit, right? Over the past weekend, we went to. Any questions about that? Or I don't have all the photos in it for Airbnb yet, but it's very, very simple, and we know it'll rent because we've done Airbnb before. We've been super hosts before. Right. And again, if you're interested or anybody that is interested in coming down to Mexico and spending some time, the concept is relatively simple. You can drop $600 on a hotel and stay 2 or 3 nights, or you can come kind of open-ended and have an apartment ready for you. You pay $600 for that and you have it for the whole month. And you can kind of come and go and expand and go wherever you want. You come for a week and stay for a month, right? That sound good? So that's one of the Airbnb properties that we have right now. And then over the weekend, I discovered a new place. This is a beach community that's about 20 minutes away that I am set to go see on Friday. But these homes, they're selling these homes for anywhere between $180,000 and $250,000 in a beach community, and has all of the amenities, the pool, gym, tennis courts, all sorts of amenities. That's all the properties down here now are just chock full of amenities. Comes complete with beautiful women and all that stuff. It's just add water. So this is a community that we recently discovered, and this is what it looks like. Hold on. This is the beach club that it has. And so literally when you buy there, you can, a 5-minute drive across the highway, and you're on one of the most beautiful beaches I've ever been to. I was blown away. The water is aqua, beautiful. This is the beach club here. where they've got a full restaurant, bar, massage rooms, everything you need, entertainment over on the weekends. And that's included when you buy one of these houses for $180,000 to $200,000, right? Incredible value, in my opinion, but I'm going to learn a little bit more this weekend on the real pricing of these houses. So, right, this could be you living your life. Anybody ready to sign up for that? None of those people are me, by the way. That's just the internet promoting, right? So, but incredible food. And again, everything down here is ridiculously affordable. It's not like America. So, sound good? Okay. So that's kind of what I had for tonight's call, right? Anybody have anything else? But again, what I wanted you to do is take a look at your schedule and keep it open from the middle of November to the middle of December to see if you can come on down. It's going to be an extraordinary personal development event. What you are going to learn is how to master your mind. You're going to learn about other opportunities. My business mentor is an absolute master in the realm of real estate, in the realm of cryptocurrencies, in the realm of business expansion, building networks, and then the other guys with trusts and life insurance and other opportunities. The coffee company is guaranteed to give you opportunities to absolutely make money and get yourself positioned so that 2024, I would love to see 2024 be your best financial year ever. Would anybody like to sign up for that program?
Sure. Is this something you're going to be recording for the people that can't make it?
You mean the event in Mexico?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm basically just organizing it first to make sure that we've got a whole bunch of people that come down between our core groups. The intention is that we'll have roughly about 200 people here for it. You guys are kind of the first to even know about it. And but there's a lot of planning and organization that goes into it. So, but undoubtedly, I mean, if we're videotaping, we can always make that sort of stuff available, right?
Yep. I figure I'd throw it out there real quick.
Well, I mean, the way I describe the experiences is this. Let me turn this screen share, right? You ever seen a postcard of Paris? Right, you see the Eiffel Tower and the Arc de Triomphe, and the Sacré-Cœur up on the hill, and all those things, and the Rive Gauche, the left bank, and it's fantastic because you can kind of get a sense of France. But compare looking at a postcard to walking the streets of Paris. There's no comparison. One is experience, one is experiential, right? And again, knowledge, the internet is full of information, right? But until we put ourselves in an environment where our body is fully enrolled, right? Part of the reason why I want to pull this together before the end of the year is I'm looking for a pattern interrupt, right? And Ian, with your background, you may understand the value of pattern interrupt with people in their physical fitness and rehabilitation and things like that. Is if we keep doing the same thing, humans, we do everything by pattern, right? And so when you take yourself out of the space that you're familiar with, you're comfortable with, and you put yourself on a trajectory, it's like, I don't really know where I'm going. I never been there. I'm a little scared, but what the hell, I'm up for it. And everything that you experience from the moment you leave is new stimuli for your brain. It's pattern interrupt, and it gets you. And then next thing you know, you find yourself in an environment where all of a sudden there's other people and everything starts clicking and coming together. And then that serves as like a catalyst, like an arc underneath your ass, you know. And next thing you know, you're getting so much more accomplished because you put yourself into a new environment, you made new commitments, you gain new knowledge, new associations, and now you're ready to really do something and make 2024 your absolute best financial year ever. That's the objective. That's the objective in creating this event, right? So, but I will keep you in the mix. I'm hoping to get that locked down within the next 10 days to 2 weeks. But keep your schedule open and see what you got to do. You know, flying from Florida to Mexico that's easy. That's an hour flight. So, all righty. So thank you, Jeff, for sending that information, that update on Novatech. I will review that. Monica, I will get that information to you. And Keith, always a pleasure to hear from you. And Ian, welcome. You are always welcome in our community here. And feel free, Quincy, if you want to give Ian my information, and if you need any type of support, Ian, with anything you got going on, you're part of the family now. So
absolutely.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Take care, everybody. Have a great evening. I look forward to seeing you next week. Whether I'm here or not, you should still have it on your schedule. You make that commitment, because that's how you're going to generate the results you're ultimately looking for. God bless. Good night.
God bless.
Bye-bye, guys.